Well, welcome folks. I'm on the boat and I thought I'd take this opportunity to show you what I'm going to be using for my cod fishing in the boat. Cod season's sort of started. They're getting a few cod down in the sort of bramble bank around the sort of Cowes area, and yeah, up to around about the sort of 7, 8, 9 pounders. So yeah, let's get ready for it. Got to tie a few rigs. So I thought I'd show you what I'm going to be tying. Most people will know this rig, but I'll just bung a little bit of a variant on it and see what you think. And it may help you. You may be doing it already. I'm sure you experienced anglers are doing it already, but for these people that just started, or I'm not too sure what rigs to tie for cod fishing in a boat, then hopefully this will help you. So let's get to it. So for the main body, I'll just use an ASSO 70-pound line, nice and cheap, easy to get hold of. Most tackle shops, online suppliers have it, and it's good stuff. It does the trick for me. So it's bright orange. Colour does not put me off. I've never had a problem with colour with lines. Some people say they do. I personally don't. I have no problem with having a bright orange line. So swivel wise, I'm going to use 2 swivels. So there's a swivel there. That is a 150-pound swivel. I don't normally use a 150-pound swivel, but for this video I'm going to use a nice big fat swivel so you can see it. I generally use something around about £100, but even that, really, you can downsize that, really, to be fair. But there we go. Hopefully you can see that okay. So 2 of those. Now, being a running ledger rig, which this is going to be, it's entirely up to you what you want to use. But in times by past, I used a zip slider. So get any of those, or for eBay, local tackle shops, anything like that. The only thing I don't like about these, and I've had it many a time, is the clip. Hopefully you can see that. Comes undone like that. And I've lost so many leads where that thing's come unclipped, especially when I've been bouncing the lead. So when I cod fish, I bounce the lead like I'm doing place fishing. They like to attract them. So I'm going to try the Trident. The Trident rig clip. They've hope you can see that okay. They've made the holes a little bit bigger in past. It's a new style. I think they've been doing it for quite some time now. And the 70-pound line runs through it quite nicely. So if you look at the size of that compared to that, there's a lot of difference. So there's a lot more drag on that. So if you're like me, fishing around the 60 to 80 foot of water, sometimes you can have a knot and a half, 2 knots of tide. It makes a difference. To scaling down your tackle can make that all the difference on less lead you need to use. And also some beads. I've got some beads, I've got some green ones. Again, use what colour you like. Up to you. So let's get to it. So body wise, you make it as long as you like. I'll probably make it about an arm length, something like that. And then I'll just give it a cut off. Got a pair of decent toenail clippers. Nice and sharp. There's a bit of a tag end here. I'm just going to cut it off. There's a bit of a nick in it. There we go. So length of your arm, roughly, something like that. You can make it shorter, you can make it longer. It all depends what you want to do. So first swivel, on it goes. For me, I just do, depending on the poundage of line, obviously, I just do the simple twist round, six or 7 times, back round, so it's all twisted round, hopefully you can see that, and then back through the loop you've made. Let's come through the loop, there we are, and then just a little bit of saliva just to give it a little bit of lubrication so it doesn't burn the knot, and just ease it up a little bit and just give it a good old tug. And just cinch up the knot as well, sort of thing. If it's a little bit tight, just get your sort of fingertips and just give it a cinch up. Give it a good old tug. There we go. So there we go, there's one knot there. Hope you can see that. Just clip the tag end off. Like so. Nice and snug. So it's nice and flush, no tag end. Nothing for the weed to catch on. So there's one done. Excuse me, guys and girls. So the Thermalink, again, place it on so it slides. So now, hopefully you'll see that. So there's no resistance on that whatsoever. And it's nice and small. Then it's entirely up to you next. If you want one bead just to help stop it banging against the knot, or 2 beads or 3 beads or whatever you want to do, the beauty, I'm going to put this bead on now, the beauty of having 1 or 2 or 3 beads, especially if you're going to up tide with this rig. So if I show you that now there's the clip, there's where you're going to clip your weight on. If you've got 2 beads, when it's butted up against the swivel, it will give a push further out and over the lead, which is really handy when you're up tiding with breakaway weights and that sort of stuff, Gemini breakaway weights, anything like that. Instead of it being drooped down like that and hanging on the wires, it gives a little bit of a boom, really, for want of a better word, boom of type effect. But I'm only going to use one because I'm not going to use this rig with a breakaway weight. It is literally just going to be a normal standard lead. So again, again, the other swivel, put it on the other end. Again, simple twist round 6 or 7 times, and I've lost the end. There it is. Back through the loop, a little bit of saliva just to make sure it doesn't burn the line too much. Again, it starts getting a bit tight there now, so just give it a cinch up with your fingertips, just help it along. And there again, another tag end to snip off there. Excuse me. So what you've got is swivel, your body line, Thermalink clip, bead, swivel. Now you've got 2 beads there, swivels there now. Now we're getting a lot of congers in the Solent now in the cod season, and man, do they spin up. So this rig here was actually not given to me, but we discussed it and had a discussion with Mark Williams Sea Angling back last year. I used to only use the 1 swivel, but he said, well, why don't you try 2? And actually it makes a massive difference when you're cod fishing and you've got a lot of congers around. Having the 2 swivels at each end gives that line a lot more ability to turn round, where especially when the congers are really spinning up, they will trash a trace, no problem at all. By having those 2 swivels, one each end, it just stops that spinning up that trace, that body line, sorry. So there we go. So that's what it looks like. Hope you can see that all okay. And yeah, so that's my main body. Nothing too exciting about that really, but it's really streamlined, no bulky zip sliders, and that's what I'm using. Let me just get it. Let's just drop it on the floor. So there's the main body. What am I going to use next? So for my trace, it depends how I want to fish, but this is how I sometimes fish, and I've had really good successes on this setup. So before I start, I use anywhere between 100 and 150 pound trace line. And you think, 100 pound line? What do you need that for cod fishing? You must be mad. It's bloody ridiculous. Yeah, it could be ridiculous, and it probably is ridiculous in some ways, but I can't tell you how many times I've lost a cod through the trace parting. And it can be down to a little bit of my laziness to change traces as and when they get a bit roughed up. But when you're out where I'm fishing, you get endless dogs, endless eels, and they absolutely annihilate your line. And the last thing you want, if you're using around about 50, 60 pound, maybe 70 pound, is that line with a little bit of a dink in it, nick in it, roughed up, and it parts when you've got a decent fish on. And especially cod, that's for sure. They're hard enough to get, and the least you want is your line parting right when you're at the crucial bit, when you're going for the net. You can see the fish and you go for it and bang, gone. So 100 pounds, 150 pound. I tend to use 100 pound nowadays. I used to use around 150, but the 150 pound is a lot harder to tie. So what did I do? Let me show you this rig. So again, entirely up to you how long you want it. I tend to do about a length and a half, somewhere around that. So I'll cut it at that. Now I'm going to do a flyer off this trace line, and all I do, depending where I want it, I'm going to pinch it about there. So it's about 3/4 of an arm length, somewhere around that. And all I'm going to do is pull a loop like that and do a knot. So you go round on yourself. So if you're going to tie it into a knot, basically a granny knot really, and you go through the loop, through that loop you just made, through once, twice. I will do it, and because it's 100 pound, I'm going to go through 3 times. If it was 150, you'd only do it twice. So you'll now end up with like that. You end up going through 3 times. It looks like that, and I'm going to pull that up to make the fly rig. So just pull on the loop like that, so you can see there's not cinching up. And I'll do is just pull on it a little bit more using your fingertips, and then all I'll do is squeeze back like that. So now you've got a loop. There we are. It's working up. And there we go. And there's several ways you can do that loop, but that's how I'll do my loop anyway. So there we go. One end, 2 ends, loop in the middle, 3/4 of the way down, whatever way you want to do it. So you've got the loop, and all you want to do is just snip one end. I tend to snip the lower end. If you're going to put your hook at this end, I tend to snip that end at the bottom there of the loop, the bottom of the loop. So there we go. So that's what it looks like now. And that is the basic setup there. Now, hook wise, it all depends what you want to do fishing wise. If you just want to target the cod and the bigger fish, then just use bigger hooks. That's all you got to do. That's pretty much it. But the way I like to fish, we get quite a lot of whiting as well when we go fishing for the cod. So I don't use particularly anything of any fashion, like the Cox and Rules. You know, you can buy Cox and Rule hooks, really good hooks, good follow in, can't fault them. Or you can go to something like those, eBay, cheap and cheerful. Completely up to you what you want to use, sort of thing. I tend to go a bit of cheap and cheerful and a bit of mix and match, to be fair. So anyway, let's get back to it. So this is how I set myself up for cod fishing, because I want to catch smaller fish as well, and whiting and the like. So that there is my main setup there that I'm going to use, my main sort of hook snood, if you like, and that's going to be the flyer. So I use a 6/0. Hope you can see that. I use that as the top hook, and then I use just a smaller hook, around about a 2/0, somewhere around that, at the bottom. Now I'll just do the knot again, the same as the rig body, just twist it, twist it, twist it. Obviously you don't need to do it so many times, being it's a 100-pound line. You can do probably 4, maybe 5 if you're lucky. You soon know when it's too much, because it just won't like it too much. It makes it really hard to pull up, and it's a nightmare. But there we go. So I'm just going to cinch that up, give it a little bit of a helping hand so you don't burn the line too much. I generally get the pliers as well and just hook them through the pliers so I don't have to. There we go, and cinch it up. There we go. So pull off the access line, and there is the main snood. 6/0 work, wrap it round, and there we go. That is my main setup, like that. So whiting comes along, snuffles that, great. You can catch the whiting, a nice big fat cod, probably take the whole lot. So you've got the bigger hook to take the cod, or the bigger, maybe bigger eel, anything like that. And the beauty of having a smaller hook, you may catch pout, smaller fish like whiting and pout, sorry, and cod love a live bait. They do love a live bait. I've had many a cod with a live pout or a live whiting on there. So there we are, there's that setup there, and then you got your flyer. Now again, this is completely up to how you want to play this. I generally put, and it is risky doing this, and because I've had it many times again, I only use the one hook, and I only use that again to catch the whiting as well. But there is a massive danger that you're going to get a cod on that hook as well. I've caught cod on them, and you know, you reel in that, you can kick this big old cod, you know, around as a 10 or 15 pound, and you can see it nodding away, going bang, 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 and you can see it's on this little hook on the flyer, and you're like pooping your pants, thinking, oh no, this is going to give up, and you get it in the net, and you're like, whoa, mate, can't believe that's held out. So there is an element of risk. You could put a bigger hook like that, like we did before, 6/0 on top, and the smaller you could do, but I tend to not to, because purely because if you get the eels and all that, it just becomes a bit of a nightmare with having that top hook with a smaller snood there, sort of thing. So excuse me. So smaller hook, again, straight on, twist around 4 or 5 times, whatever you feel needed, and pull up. And all pulled up and tugged in, and give the old snip for the access. And there we go. I'm hoping you can see that rig. So main body there, where my thumb is, I'll just took my finger, get off, and then you got that little flyer there. So that's what it's going to look like that. So quite often not, that is jingling around like that little flyer jingling around, acts as a tractor, and I only put a small bit of squid on that, generally around about the sort of finger size or 2 finger sizes in length, sort of thing. So it's jingling around like that, but you've got a nice big fat squid, or squid and lug bait, or squid and whatever you want to put on there as your main bait. And as I say, I've had loads of cod on that flyer, you wouldn't believe it, but it works. It seems to have that added attractant, just having that one flipping around. I've definitely had more cod on this rig than I ever have on a single line snood hook. That double setup like that definitely makes a difference. Not so easy if you're uptight with this rig, but you can do it, but it's not so easy. And again, so all I do is attach it to the main body of the running ledger. Again, normal setup line, twist, 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 and rounds back through the loop, pinch up, And there we go. So hopefully you can see that. So there's the rig, all in tow. It's about 6 foot long, I suppose. And that there for me is the rig I'll be using for this cod season in the Solent area. Absolutely works a treat, that setup. I won't go anywhere different than that, other than that. And why change what works? You know, why change? I hope that helps you on that, especially beginners. I'm sure that the people who have been out there fishing donkey's years, you use your own variant of rig, but I think most people use a running ledger. The other thing I would suggest as well, that if you're getting a lot of dogfish, and I mean a lot, well, again, we suffer from a lot of dogfish. It is relentless at times, it really is, and it's so frustrating when you literally put it down and bang, dogfish within seconds. One way to prevent that is putting a larger hook on. So I use like maybe a Cox and Rule 8/0 hook, great hooks, a really massive hook, so the dogfish can't get its mouth round the actual scope of the hook. It really struggles, and when you cast them fine, it's sucking on the bait more so than actually taking the whole thing, which just gives you that little bit more time of having your bait down there. And instead of keep hooking up onto dogfish and, you know, just ruining your fishing really. And I do that a lot when it's like that. But a big old hook on, dogfish can't have it, it's sucking away on the bait, and hopefully that cod will come along and bully off that dogfish, and bam, you're in the one. So that's it, folks. I hope that helps some of you, and yeah, let's get out there, get some cod. I absolutely love my cod fishing. It's probably one of the best times of the year for fishing is cod fishing. Can't get enough of it. It's killing me at the moment. The weather's pants and I can't get out, but there we go. I'm going to do a bit of shore fishing for the cod and crack out with that still until this weather improves. So I'm going to get out there, get out in the deeps and get some cod in the boat. Tight lines, everyone. Get out there. Hope you enjoyed. And don't forget, all importantly, give us a thumbs up, hit the like and the subscribe button, and don't forget the bell for the latest video.